Excitement level?
What's that?
Excitement level?
I think we're just ready. You know, we're tired of the same old, you know, scrimmaging and drill work and stuff like that. So I think the guys are ready to tee it up against somebody else and see where we stand, where we got to improve, where we got to get better, and what works, what doesn't work, that type of thing. So, you know, it's only so much inter squads can tell you, and once the lights come on, then things change a little bit, and we'll know who's able to rise to the occasion and who we can trust moving forward.
Weekend rotation set?
Yeah, we're pretty well set. You know, with Thomas Burns going on Friday, and then Connor Markle on Saturday, and then Tyler Meyer will be on Sunday, which is brings a smile to my face knowing everything that kid's been through and where he's at, and able to bounce back from everything. So we're excited about him. There are several other guys that have earned you know, a strong look at that weekend rotation as well. Adam Behrens, you know, comes to mind as a guy that you know is really kind of earned a spot there, but based on, you know, Tyler's history with health, I felt more comfortable him starting a game than coming out of a bullpen, and looking at the health of him, you know, is a paramount deal there. And Ben Jacobs is throwing the ball pretty well as well. So, you know, both of those two guys I think will probably come out of the pen, you know, this weekend at some point, and look for them or maybe to start the midweeks next week.
Starting nine, pretty set as well?
There is, you know, there'll be a couple matchup spots, I think, to where things will be floating and interchangeable. But you know, we have some guys capable of being in there that part of it's not set right-hander versus left-hander all the way through the weekend at the moment. You know, I think I got a pretty good idea who we're going to go with tomorrow, but nothing that's set in stone, and nothing that says we can't pinch hit and move some things around depending on how the game goes. So, and then following the next couple of days, we'll see what happens and who does well and who doesn't. So.
For the bullpen, is there any kind of plan as to when you'd like to use these guys, or is it kind of just going to be rolling with the punches?
Game will dictate it. You know, I think we have an idea on paper, but it never goes that way. You can script it all you want, but once things start happening and things speed up, it never goes as planned. But you know, both of those guys, I would assume, will get in there at some point this weekend.
Tyler has obviously been through a lot just kind of over the course of these last few seasons. What was kind of his reaction when you broke the news to him, and how did he kind of take it?
You know, Tyler doesn't show a lot of emotions. He's more of an even keel type guy, but you can tell he's happy and excited. And really, this has just come on the past, you know, three and a half weeks, really, where he's started to throw the ball the way we've all seen Tyler throw it in the past. And I just figured that with his experience and you know, Moleman's not going to get too big for him. And I think this just makes sense to put him on Sunday with everything he's been through, and the way he's been throwing the ball lately has been great. So just really excited for the young man. It's a pretty cool story for him.
It's the first time in a little bit that a true freshman gets the season opening start. What are your expectations for Thomas early on based on what you've seen from him in inter squads and just the composure that he's been said to have early? You know,
yeah, I think just the whole package. And again, I've said it before, I think you know, throwing a freshman on Friday night and the opener is bold, I guess, for lack of a better term, but I think he can handle it. I do, and I think it's something to build with in the future. It might be rushing him a little bit, but at the end of the day, he can handle it, and he's got the stuff to pitch on Friday night, and he's got the mound presence and the mindset mentality that he, you know, if he does give up you know, a run or two, he's not going to get overly rattled and too excited over it. He's just going to keep doing his job, and that's what I like about him. You know, that being said, that's what I've seen in inter squads and that so far. It's a whole different animal when it's for real tomorrow. So what I know about him as a young man, I think he'll settle down and be just fine.
What's it say about this pitching staff that the first guy that takes the mound this season is going to be one of the youngest on the team?
You know, I think goes to show you that I'm going to go with who I think is the best guy. Whether you're a freshman or a senior or anybody in between, I'm going to roll out with the guys I feel the most confident with, and he's one of those guys that, like I said, think can handle it. We do have a lot of youth on our staff this year, but we also have some veteran guys that can calm the waters behind them. So hopefully we can achieve what we want to achieve with youth and with some veteran presence behind them that can put out fires if necessary. But I think hopefully the direction of the program we're going is we're going to let these younger kids go out and see what they got. So it's where we're at.
Willie, how much does it help to have Campy behind the plate to help a young guy like Thomas Burns in this situation?
I think Campy's invaluable, when it comes to all that stuff. He's a great mind behind the plate. He's a calming presence. He's another guy that's very even keel and has been around, understands that he's been in the program now 3 years. He's been here with me since day one. And so he's a mainstay back there and will settle these guys down if they need it. And, just his overall presence is important.
Coach Steven Odina set to start at short. Why did you choose to start him at least for the time being?
Steven's been doing a really good job there. Jax Ryan's been doing a really good job there as well. Both defensively have been doing pretty well. Steven has been a little bit more consistent offensively right now than Jax. I think long-term projection. I think Jax has quite a bit of upside offensively. He's just still figuring a few things out. But I look for him to get in the in the lineup throughout the year as well. And right now Steven's playing great there, so that's who we're going to go with tomorrow.
Are there any
anything set in stone about who you'll pair him with at second?
That's one of those positions we can be flexible with. I think right now Kevin Karstetter will get the nod there tomorrow. Ethan Mendoza will find himself playing there, on occasion. Mario Demera could find himself in the infield, at times, and Jax Ryan could end up, finding over there at times as well. But right now we'll go with Kevin. He's been, an older guy that kind of seemed to emerge as the front runner there, but there's some guys nipping at his heels to get in the lineup too. So Ethan will find himself in there at times as well, and we'll see how things pan out.
You had two new guys in the middle infield to start last season too, and kind of actually you knew it third, but do you feel like the infield's kind of gelling, or is that going to take a couple of weeks to maybe fully get down?
I think we'll see. I think we have options, which is good, but so nothing's really set in stone. But as of right now, we feel that's our best infield, and they've been playing well together, throughout the fall, and if things have to change, as we move forward, then we'll change them. But right now, that's what we feel is the best one.
Anything you can tell us about Nick and how he's progressing in the timetable?
Nick has been ahead of schedule, which is encouraging for us. He's got his cast off a few days ago, is already moving his hand around pretty good, and started strengthening exercises. It's kind of what a difference a year makes, with that, because last year it was, we didn't know when we were going to get him back, and didn't know if we were going to get him back. This year, he the first day he got his cast off, he's out taking fly balls and running and asking what else he can do, where we actually got to kind of slow him down a little bit, which is, man, that like I said, what a difference a year makes. Nick McLean is I'm just excited for that kid to get back on the field, because he's worked extremely hard and is has a work ethic that has been instilled, I think, that he's excited about, and he's ready to play. So I'm excited for hopefully him to return optimistically sooner than expected.
Still progressing quickly, but still out for a little bit. Who would you say are some guys that will occupy that role at the quarter outfield spots for the initial time being, and then specifically opening day?
Well, I think Kian Vu is a choice out there that has been playing very good defense out there. Offensively, he's been up and down a little bit, but defensively, he's been pretty good. Josiah Cromwell could make his way out there. And then, there's the flexibility with Campy too, where we can put Campy in left and move Harris Williams to right, and catch Newman or whoever we want to put back there. So I think some sort of combination with that that we can expect to see.
So it sounds like that situation's more fluid, where you kind of test out different things while next to the line.
Yeah, I think that's the little bit of the revolving door. I think that's where we have flexibility to get some guys in the lineup and keep them sharp, and again, if Kean goes out there tomorrow and has a great day, then hey, he'll probably go out there the next day. But I think there are opportunities to get some guys at bats kind of in that right field spot, depending on how things shake out.
Is Josiah Cromwell among those options in right field?
Yep, absolutely. He's an option there and behind the plate. Veteran bat that we're confident with that if we have to put him out there, he'll do fine. And based on the matchup, we'll probably find himself out there.
As far as the opponent this weekend, Santa Clara obviously had a very good season last year. They went to the tournament. What did you hope for when you went in preseason and were able to schedule this series? Obviously, San Diego State kind of very similar last year, very really good team that maybe falls in the mid-major category.
Well, we had Santa Clara scheduled a couple years ago for this weekend, and we had just played them in a midweek a couple years ago, and we handled them pretty good. And they said they wanted to come opening weekend this year. And at that time, it was kind of like, we could figure it out. And then they burst onto the scene last year and had a tremendous year, and went to the regionals and knocked out a couple pretty good teams in the regionals. And they got pretty much a lot of those guys returning. So that makes for a much more difficult weekend than the midweek team we saw a couple years ago. So kudos to their coaching staff for developing their program the way they have, and they're going to be tough. The kid throwing tomorrow night is very capable arm that we gotta come ready to swing it off of him, because he's got some pretty good movement on his pitches and good velo. He's going to be tough for us.
Good prep, obviously, for a K-State team coming in next week that's probably going to be ranked.
Yeah, I think we're focused on Santa Clara. We can't look ahead. These guys they can beat us if we don't play well, and we're going to have to go out and play well in order to beat them. So we'll worry about them, and then Kansas State when they come here.
You mentioned all the returning talent they bring back. One of them now plays for you, and Eamon Lance. Is there any sort of scouting report that he's kind of giving you about these guys?
Lance is a very intelligent player, smart kid, and there's obviously some things that he's told us about a few of their guys and what their arms, what kind of repertoire they have. But end of the day, we still got to go out and execute. There's videos for that too that everybody has access to, so it's not telling us anything that we haven't already confirmed ourselves. But we just got to go out and execute at the end of the day.
What role do you expect him to play in your offense?
He'll be a DH pinch hitter type, I think, early on here, and with the capability of playing first if something, God forbid, happened to Toby or whatever, we had to move some things around. He's serviceable at first base, but nice right-handed bat off the bench that hopefully will win us some games with that bat off the bench.
Outside of Nick's injury, everyone relatively healthy entering the opening weekend?
Yeah, for the most part. We got typical bumps and bruises here and there, but for the most part, most guys are healthy, and hopefully we keep it that way.
Brandon Compton, you didn't bring him up in terms of corner outfield potential. He could DH. What do you see in terms of his role early on?
Well, Compton, he's in that mix of left field and DH, and we'll see if we end up finding his name in the lineup tomorrow. But he's definitely a guy that has a lot of pop and can add some depth to the power of our lineup for sure. And I don't have any problem putting him in the corner outfield. He does just fine out there. So if that ends up being an option, we can look at that. Right now, it's probably more of a DH type role, and let him swing the stick. So we'll see how that works out.
In terms of your two-way guys, Compton and Carlone, is it still Compton's going to progress as offense and Carlone's going to go more as a pitcher?
Yeah, I think as of right now, that's how that looks. Cole can swing the bat a little bit. I still think he's got some things to clean up. And on the flip side, Brandon's got a great arm, but he has to lock in a little bit on the consistency over the plate. So we're not going to rush him out there with that. Still coming off Tommy John last year, and Bennett Fryman is another two-way guy that has swung the bat and is starting to find a little bit of a rhythm on the mound as well. So not afraid of the two-way guys.
Brandon Barnes, do you see him getting any action this weekend, or potentially thinking of maybe saving him
for midweek?
Barnesy should he'll be a nice, another nice option out of the pen if we need it. A nice left-handed option that I think has been spinning the breaking ball pretty well, and when he attacks the zone, he's got good enough stuff to get a lot of guys out. So he's another option that we have.
No set starter for the midweek yet?
No, we'll see how the weekend goes and go with our best option at that time. But like I said, we'll worry about this weekend first and the midweek when we get there.